What does it cost to downsize from a larger single-family home into a smaller home with an HOA in El Paso County? Today, we're going to break down the numbers most people don't think about until they're already in the middle of the move. If you're in a home that feels bigger than what you actually need right now, this is a conversation we're having more and more across Colorado Springs. And on the surface, downsizing seems simple. Smaller home, lower cost, less maintenance. But the reality is a little more nuanced than that. Because when you leave a larger single-family home, you actually have several different paths you can take. You can move into a condo, a townhome, an apartment, or a patio-style home, and each comes with a different level of maintenance costs, structure, and lifestyle shift. But the one we're focusing on today, and the one many homeowners are really drawn to, is the detached patio-style single-family home. These are typically ranch-style homes with HOA-managed grounds, open backyard space, and a layout designed for easier living. Most of the time, you'll see the primary bedroom on the main level, along with a living room, kitchen, and dining area. Some also have an additional bedroom upstairs or on the main, and many include basements with 1 or 2 bedrooms. You'll usually find a 1 or 2 car attached garage, and these communities exist across different parts of Colorado Springs. So while you're downsizing in square footage, you're not necessarily giving up the feel of a single family home. You're just simplifying how it's maintained. Now let's talk about what that actually looks like financially, starting with housing. Most people assume that downsizing automatically means a significant lower monthly payment, and sometimes that's true, but not always in the way that you expect. Because smaller homes, especially these patio-style homes with HOA-managed living, often come with higher price per square foot. You're paying for convenience, layout, efficiency, and the fact that maintenance is handled for you. So while the total size of the home goes down, the price doesn't always drop at the same rate. And then you add in the HOA. That's a consistent cost monthly that replaces a lot of the unpredictable expenses you had in your previous home. Landscaping, exterior upkeep, and overall community maintenance are now handled for you, which is the entire appeal. But financially, that cost is shifted, not eliminated. Now, let's look at utilities. This is one area where most people do see real savings. Smaller homes are generally more efficient, less space to heat, cool, and maintain day to day. So your utility bills tend to come down, and that part is usually straightforward. But utilities alone don't define the decision. They support it. The bigger picture is still how your housing costs are structured. This is usually the point where people start wondering how all of this applies to their situation specifically. If this raises questions about your situation, there's a link in the description where you can get clarity or ask us directly. Because depending on your equity, your timing, and which type of home you're considering, the numbers can look very different. Now let's talk about maintenance, because this is where the shift really becomes clear. In a larger home, you're responsible for everything: yard work, exterior repairs, long-term upkeep, all of it. And those costs don't always show up monthly, but they're there. In a patio-style HOA community, a large portion of the responsibility is taken off your plate. Instead of handling it yourself, you're paying into a system that manages it for you. So what used to be irregular, sometimes large expenses, becomes a predictable monthly cost. For a lot of homeowners, that predictability and the time it frees up is one of the biggest reasons they make the move. Now, let's touch on insurance. In some of these communities, especially depending on how the HOA is structured, your insurance coverage can shift. You may carry less exterior responsibility, which can impact your policy and potentially reduce certain costs. But this is one of those areas where details matter. Every community is a little different. Next is lifestyle spending. When you move into a smaller, lower maintenance home, your time opens up. And what we've often see is people relocate that time and sometimes money into things they actually enjoy. Travel, hobbies, spending time with family, things that were harder to prioritize when a home required constant attention. While your home may cost less to maintain, your lifestyle may expand in other ways. And that's part of the goal. Now, let's go over a few costs that tend to get overlooked. First, moving costs. Downsizing usually means making decisions about what stays and what goes. That can involve selling furniture, hiring movers, or even temporary storage. Second, making the new home your own. Even in a smaller home, there are often updates you'll want to make. Painting, flooring, small changes that make it feel right for you. Third, timing overlap. If you're selling one home and buying another, there can be short-term costs tied to lining everything up correctly. Finally, the adjustment. You're not just changing homes, you're changing how you live in your home. And even when it's the right move, there's still a transition that comes with that. Now, here's the most important takeaway. Downsizing isn't just about spending less, it's about choosing a home that fits your life right now. For some people, that means reducing maintenance and simplifying their day-to-day. For others, that means unlocking equity and creating more flexibility. And for many, it's about both. The right decision comes down to how you want your home to support your lifestyle, not just what the monthly numbers look like. If this was helpful, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a future video. And check out this next video. It builds on what we just talked about and will help you take the next step.